sports analysis.
Entertainment reviews.
And everything in between.
Yo, what's that word? Third 12 Inning Podcast, episode 78, big 78. We actually got a packed topic list tonight, so should be a lot of fun as we officially make our way through these topics. How y'all fellas doing tonight?
Good, chill.
That's what's up. So as we do in every episode, we start off with the Reddit warm-up. So light one tonight. The question is, do y'all sleep with your bedroom doors open or closed? Like ideally for y'all, like, and why?
Shit. It's a mix for me, but most of the time it's like cracked. That's because I got to hear them kids. If they start calling for me at night or something happens. Before that, before kids, my door would always be closed, but that's for, reasons. I used to have females over and shit. So my door stayed closed, bro. Closed, locked, all that. Used to have a bit coming through the window, so.
Oh, I feel you.
Insane. Insane. Don't matter. Closed, open, it really don't matter to me. Shit, I always talk. Somebody break in, getting Swiss cheese. So.
For me, I ain't gonna lie, because the way I grew up, I ain't have my own room until like I was an adult. So, because I had little brothers and sisters and stuff, and I grew up with like my grandmas and stuff and cousins. So when I became an adult and I got my own room, I ain't really know how to manage that. So my door used to be closed in case, like folks just said, I had, some women over, some esteemed women over, or or your boy was yakking. Playing the game. Hey, funny story, real. Should I tell the story? Fuck it, it is what it is. This is real quick. One time, my mom, I was in the room, was watching a film, you know what I'm saying? And my mom knocked on the door. And my grandma was in the living room. And she asked, how many people in this room? And I heard my grandma say, one person. And I heard my mom say, oh, all right. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I got caught watching them films before, which is embarrassing. I ain't know it till I was later on. But for sure, now it's like I want to feel the AC and I got to hear like of my kid choking or some shit. So I just leave the door open and my dog like to come in and out. Well, freak ass. But anyways, yeah, that's it for the Reddit warm up. Nice, quick, and easy one like that right there. We can start off with this one because it's about big money. Everybody like money. 15 years, $765 million deal for Juan Soto. Let's start off with our resident baseball guy, Khalil. How you feel about the Juan Soto deal? How you feel about Juan Soto?
Oh, man. Hey, bro, I understand it from an aspect of you got to get the money, get paid. They catering to the man, so I can't blame him. Biggest contract in history. He pretty much got everything in his contract. He got he got his own suite at the stadium. If they opt into his contract, it becomes like 805 or 850 million. As a fan standpoint, bro, I hate him. He can go to hell. A Yankees fan, forever, ride or die. I thought us as Yankee fans had something with him, bro. I thought this season meant something to him. As I can see, he's money hungry, which, I mean, the man is exploiting you for your talent, so you might as well get something in return, which, like I said, I understand, but damn, man.
I felt like honestly, I like the deal for the Mets. I think over the last 5, 6 years, they've been making a lot of contender-ish moves. Like they're trying to build a team that to where they won't constantly have to be the little brother, at least in the short
That's
term.
it's
At
not
least in
changing.
the short term. I'm sure it's not gonna change because Yankees just look. I'm a Red Sox fan, so I ain't gonna throw too much sauce on them. But they do their thing when it comes to them ships, especially pre-black people. But anyways,
I'm crying.
um, but on the real though, I wish the Sox would have made a play at them. But I understand when you're talking about all those perks, a huge contract, one player. We still got a little bit of building to do. But honestly, um, as a new fan of the sport, I'm happy to see people get paid this amount of money. It make me want to put my sons in baseball and stuff like that. Even though I know that guy is unbelievably elite. Um, so shout out to him, shout out to his deal. And the Mets, it looked like they got some, especially if they could get some help in the pitching department, things of that nature. Seem like they might have some. Of course, they're gonna always compete. Well, now they can say they can compete with the Dodgers, Yankees, other teams that are up there around the top. But it's good for him that he got that huge deal.
The Dodgers is on another level, man.
Yeah.
Ain't
Yeah.
Yeah,
nobody
they
competing with
got
the
big money.
Ain't nobody competing with the Dodgers, man. All that deferred money and junk too, man. They deferring everything.
Super deep pockets, man. That's what happens when you got super deep pockets. I would say the Mets pulled the Jets move. The Mets are a Jets organization, ass cheeks. But I mean, they had the money. They went out for a player that they wanted, that they sought out. That I mean, he is a game changer. His talent is undeniable. It's he's always produced as he's been on the mount. I mean on the at the bat. You know what I'm saying? But he does his thing. 100 and I mean 765 million. Sheesh. With the extra 40 million if they ante up on the annual salary for him at the end of his 10 years. Kudos to him. I mean, he must got Kirk Cousins' agent. I'll take it because that boy definitely get his money. uh, and hopefully this makes Mets somewhat of a contender, and they don't look bad for this deal. After these 5 years, he can opt out, but they also have something with it. And he also has a no trade clause in his deal as well. So I mean, this man, all the perks that he got, like Khalil said, like B said, it's just wonderful. It's all set up perfectly for him, and you really can't pass nothing like that up. Set your family up. This is generational wealth right here. This is beyond rich. That's wealthy, and he got it.
Yeah,
Man, yeah.
this might be the best contract in all the sports, to be honest. Like for
Yeah,
my opinion.
Man, family,
76 million, 76 million up front. That's his signing bonus. Like literally, as soon as he signed on the dot, here come a $76 million check.
man, family got security.
Yeah, for generations. So
Yeah,
let them out. Um, sorry about all the Yankee fans out there. Y'all will get over it. Y'all will get some person out the farm
oh,
system for extra cheap.
we'll play the world's
You know.
smallest violin for the Yankees fans,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Now, because I feel like this is going to be more broad, because there's a kind of a lot to discuss on this one. We'll move on to the college football. Before we get to the bracket, how y'all feel about Coach Belechik coming the head coach for the University of North Carolina Tar Heels?
I seen the thing. It said North Carolina went from having the oldest coach in NCAA to having the oldest coach in NCAA. So,
Yeah.
but I think it's good for them. Just a big name like Bill Belichick. I know there's always that debate on if Tom Brady made Bill Belichick, or I think they helped each other out. So I think Bill Belichick's a great football mind. I think it's kind of like a Deion Sanders type of situation per se, as maybe now more top players are going to want to come play for North Carolina just to get under that NFL coaching mind, kind of be able to pick his mind. He knows what it takes to be in the league. So I think that's a good pickup for them.
I personally
Great
think it's
pickup.
go ahead.
Great pickup, Bill Belichick. To be not picked up in that last coaching cycle of coaches that were available. Wonderful defensive mind. I mean, the man got 8 championships. I mean, not many humans alive can say, shoot, they got one. So, I mean, he's a wonderful coach. He's a wonderful, brilliant defensive minded coach. Now it's where we got to see if he can relate to those young players, like they said that he couldn't relate to in the NFL. Now it's a big FU to the NFL where I can go coach 17, 18-year-olds and really relate to some youth for your ass and recruit all these guys in, get them under the umbrella of, like Khalil said, that NFL kind of stature on how they're going to have their program set up, on having a whole building set up strictly for NIL deals, for all their out of football uh assignments, basically, so they can just focus on strictly that and have everybody on that. And Bill Belichick, all right, you the coach, where your brilliance at, show it on the field when we get you this talent. And with the money that they gave him, I believe they got like a 20 between 20 to $22 million for their NIL deal, which he had to literally put that in his deal before he even signed it. So he was scraping that up. So make sure he has his players, or that he can get these players into NC and make them a predominant, not just basketball school, and turn them into a football school. So I think it's great for both ends. And I mean, his dad coached there. I mean, he still got his dad's sweater from 1950 something, which is insane. But shout out to Bill Belichick. Hopefully you do good. Hey,
I think it's a complete ass move. If Byron used a comparison of the Jets, I think I'm gonna use a comparison of the Jaguars. I think it's an ass move. Dude is 72 years old. Nick Saban just retired and he's universally renowned as the greatest college coach of all time because he didn't want to deal with the portal and NIL. Now you got a coach who's never coached in college football before to try to come and coach a team, signed a 5-year deal, which the buyout up until June 1st, 2025 drops to $1 million. In college, the buyouts are the ultimate really determining factor if you keep a coach or fire a coach. So before North Carolina even plays a game, he has an easy way to get out of this contract in case he wants to return to the NFL, or they don't like the direction of the program, or he chooses to resign for whatever reason. I think they should have went out and got a young and up and comer, a la Matt Campbell from Iowa State. I think they should have threw the bus at him. And I just think there were other viable candidates out there that would have set up North Carolina to transition from Mac Brown, a legend of the game, national championship head coach, Hall of Famer, to move from an older coach into a younger, more energized coach that could energize that recruiting base. And instead of putting that $20 million and giving it to a guy that's realistically only going to be there for at max 4 years, they could have used that for another candidate, increased their NIL, got that state, which is a recruiting hotbed, with more money, they could acquire more talent. I just think that's the direction they should have went. I think this is a short-term play. He came in very demanding. I slightly wonder if this was just a play to make his son the head coach in waiting. His son is I believe, the DC or the co-DC at University of Washington. So I think that has something to do with it. And there's nothing wrong with setting up your family members. But I just think as a university that this was a Jaguars-esque move. I don't see it working out. The ACC isn't the toughest conference, but North Carolina was, along with the Florida State Seminoles, one of the worst teams in the conference this year. Unless they get some of, out of the top 50 players in the transfer portal, they could somehow attract 5 of them, maybe. They can increase their win total by a lot. I know he's going to require a lot on defense. I know he's going to restructure the program, but that's a lot of restructuring to do in a limited amount of time. And I can't imagine the amount of stress on the rest of his coaching staff, whoever he chooses to hire, because he still has to hire a coaching staff. So I just think it's a lot. I don't see it working out, but it'll be fascinating to see. And I don't hope he has success. Actually, I'm not even gonna sit here and lie, because we in the same conference. And another thing, and I'll end it on this one. I also think it's dumb that you would not try to get an NFL job when you're 14 wins behind Don Shula for #1 all time, being the winningest coach of all time. I don't get it. I think he would have got picked up, and I thought it was a short-sighted move by Coach Belechik, who was the greatest NFL coach of all time, for sure, bar none. I'm sorry, that was a mouthful. Pause. Continue on with the college football playoff. We got some bracketology to discuss here. For this episode, we'll just keep it to the first round games here. Let's start off with Tennessee at Ohio State. Byron, how you feel about Tennessee at Ohio State?
Tennessee, Ohio State. I mean, Ohio State was a little iffy on that game when, they played against big competition. Will kind of shrunk. Gonna definitely got to see how they perform in this game. This is gonna be a game that really shows with that Tennessee's defense that they have, because their defense is pretty, I would say, pretty legit. If they can win their game, if they can win this game in, I won't say a blowout fashion, but a how can I put this, in a convincing fashion that shows that they can compete for that national championship. Because like I said in our previous video, y'all go watch that. I only think there's really 2 teams that could win for me personally, Oregon and Texas. But that can really show that they are really one of those teams that can compete for the national championship. Will can actually improve his stock, because they've really been disrespecting a lot of those other quarterbacks, saying it's really only a 2 quarterback race. I think a lot of those quarterbacks are pretty good. They haven't really showed it in their play this season, but their talent can show it to the next level eventually with the right, staff. And I think Ohio State can pull this out. I'll even predict maybe like a 27, 27-20 game, something like that.
It's not too. I think you made a great point about Will Howard too. He hasn't looked well against really good competition. And I wonder sometimes why they even picked it for the transfer portal, because they do a great job at developing quarterbacks. And I think there were better quarterbacks on the market. I think they went after the transfer this year too quickly to get him secured. But we'll see how it plays out for sure. What about you, Khalil?
Ohio State's always that blue blood college football team. I don't know. I feel like Ohio State, after that loss to Michigan, and Ryan Day, I know he's not going to lose his job this year. I still kind of feel like I already see it. It's already been said. Like, if you go look on ESPN, it's already been said.
Yeah.
But with that loss to Michigan and them losing to Michigan like 4 or 5 years in a row, I expect them to come out kind of hot trying to prove a point. I don't expect it to be a blowout, but I do expect Ohio State to get the win. Well, like you two said, it really all depends on the play of Will Howard. I know Ohio State's defense is going to keep them in the game. I don't expect it to be too high scoring of a game. Like Byron said, probably somewhere in the 20s. But I do have Ohio State pulling that one out.
I got Ohio State winning this game too off the jump. I think it'll be a close game. I think they change it up. The reason why I think they win is they don't put as much stress on Will Howard to go out and win this game with Smith, the wide receiver, Emeka Ibuka. I don't think it's going to be a passing game. I think they're going to try to shorten the game via the run with Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson. I think that's going to be the game plan. Tennessee has a stout defense, very stout defense, but I don't trust I think he's ultra talented. I think next year has a chance to be a breakout year for their quarterback. I'm attempting to pronounce his name, but I know I'm wrong. Nico, Emo something. It's a crazy last name, but I think next year, as he's more set in the offense, is going to be a breakout year from him. I think Tennessee is going to have some success on the ground, like Michigan did, and I think it's going to be a close game, like these brothers predicted. Right now, I would have to decide with Ohio State. If I was a betting man, I'm not sure what the line is. But I think this will be, if not the best game, up there in the top two games that we're going to discuss here. Right now, I'll go with the Buckeyes. And it was soft for y'all to pass that law about flag planting. Didn't like that. That was lame by the Republican, the Senate guy to make it illegal to plant the flag in the horseshoe. That was real soft, by the way. Next, we got Indiana versus Notre Dame. Indiana versus Notre Dame. Who y'all got in that to start with? Byron. I know he has an affinity for the Irish.
Fuck the Irish. I don't care. I don't care about the Indiana. I don't care about nothing. I'm biased on this. I need them to lose. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Have to do something about that. But
Gotta drop a
nah,
dime
for
on
real
them.
though, I'm gonna have to drop dime on them for real. Nah, seriously though, Notre Dame is a great team. There are a lot of young talent on that team for sure. I didn't even know Ryan Clark, the great Steelers safety. His son actually plays for that team, and he's a wonderful player there and contributing into being possibly, one of those teams competing in those Final Four at the end of this whole battle. And I feel like they're the better team out of these two for sure, easily. And if they come with a great game plan, maybe they can make it a fight. But I feel like it's an easy first round for Notre Dame for sure. They're gonna face some more talent for sure in that next the semifinals.
I I'm no first things first. I'm gonna pick Notre Dame to win this one. But I don't expect it to be like a pushover game. You got Indiana who runs the ball pretty much down your throat. They have their quarterback who I believe had to be at least top 8 up there in the Heisman race at one point. Very accurate, makes smart plays. And just, they're a very physical team. So I feel like they'll be able to kind of just fight in the trenches with Notre Dame. But I just feel like Notre Dame's just going to be a little bit too much and wind up overpowering them. But I do maybe a 7-point game, something around there, 10-point game.
Real quick, I ain't gonna judge them from a video game, but I have them, Indiana, personally, in a dynasty in the first year, and that team is low key ass cheeks, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Compared to, like we say, we compare talent to talent, and like Khalil just said, they're gonna be overwhelmed. I feel like they're gonna be overwhelmed for sure, for sure. That line won't hold up. I mean, they got some good receivers for sure. I mean, they got Amari Cooper's son, like all kind of great talent there. So, like, it's pretty cool, but they definitely about to get overran for sure.
I think this game is interesting. I think most people wouldn't even think this is actually the game in the first round, at least with the least amount of losses combined for both teams. There's only one loss, and that was Indiana losing to Ohio State. And
that was only a 2-score game too.
Well, no, actually, I'm sorry. Notre Dame lost the game as well. They got upset by Northern Illinois, which was
I remember that shit.
A travesty. Fucked up my whole parlay. But at the end of the day, I think this is gonna be a great game. This is actually my type of game as a defensive type of guy. My heartstrings are pulling that Indiana to win this game.
Yeah, I want them to.
It's like Notre Dame is such a physical team. Like they're such a Paul is like a large physical bully type team. Riley Leonard, I believe is his name. Physical down here, quarterback running the ball, good strong running back, solid receiving core. And we know Notre Dame always gonna have a dominant offensive line and defensive line, great linebackers, and a strong secondary. Some guys that were in contention for at least preseason Thorpe Award winners. But Indiana has had a great season. Kirk Cignetti deserved that extension he got. And I actually think that extension, if you see stuff like that, when you have a team to the caliber of North Carolina, when they're looking for a job, you go ahead and get your client as an agent a large extension, because he would have been a great coach to transition over to North Carolina. I say all that to say I'm gonna go with my guys here. I think they mapped it out pretty well. The thoughts about this game. I think Notre Dame overall is going to be too much of a bully in this game, but I would love to see Indiana win this game, to be honest.
For sure.
Next up, let's say that one for last. Next up, we're going to do SMU at Penn State. That's another. All these games are good. It's the playoff. SMU at Penn State. What you got to say about that, Khalil?
I know I said, with Penn State and Oregon playing last week, Penn State kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
They did. I know. I'll give them props. Yeah. So Penn State, I think when it comes to the physicality, I think them and SMU kind of going to go back and forth. SMU surprised me as well with the fight that they put in to come back to lose by a field goal. Especially to a good physical Clemson team with an established quarterback, an established running back, a motherfucker. This one's kind of hard for me. I want to go with SMU just because I'm an SMU fan, but all the signs are leading to Penn State. I know Penn State tends to pull out all these close games, and once again, I think this is going to be another close game, and Penn State's going to find a way to win it.
Oh man, definitely watching that SMU game. I ain't gonna lie, I only watched maybe the fourth quarter, but seeing the resilience, the fight back, the want to, the I need to try to control our own destiny at the right moment for that team, and the coaching that showed at the end of the game shows that they can really compete against a lot of these good teams, and I really hope they can make this into a fight against Penn State. Their defensive line is insane. That one player, I always forget his name, but he wears the same number as number 11 for Penn State. Abdul Carter. Freaking beast off that edge, and he's going to get after the quarterback, and hopefully they're ready for that kind of physicality and that kind of pressure, and that they bring their A game, and that quarterback gets the ball out faster than he did against Iowa. I mean, not Iowa. Clemson, yeah. And definitely shows some fight back, and don't get down like you were and have to fight back how you against Clemson. So show y'all talent from the beginning of the game, and hopefully it's not a blowout.
To me, this is the reason why the college football playoff was invented, for you have games like these where the underdog gets in. I was very grateful they got in over Alabama after that screw job last year. I thought they were going to do it again this year, but they didn't. And I think SMU was going to reward them with an upset win in this game. I picked Penn State to beat Oregon. It was a close game. I'm actually a believer in Penn State this year. I just think the results of what I've seen from SMU throughout the season, I got a chance to watch about 4 or 5 of their games, BYU, Florida State, Clemson, and another game in there I watched. I can't remember off the top of my head, but what I saw is once they made the switch to Kevin Jennings, they've been incredibly explosive on offense, and that defense, especially that linebacker Wilson, they've been explosive throughout the year as far as creating takeaways and being dominant and very stout. As Byron mentioned, I got them boys in the dynasty too. So I want to see SMU do well. And I think they're going to pull out this win. If I had to go with one upset, which I'm not going to do it, spoiler alert, I'm going to go with one upset. I'm going to have Clemson. I'm going to have SMU pulling out this dub against Penn State. The final game of the first round, we got Clemson at Texas. Who we got in that game, y'all boys? Let me start with Byron, Mr. Texas.
Let's go Arch. Put that boy Arch in the game, man. Stop playing. Nah. Quinn Ewers, he's really showed me a lot, like, over these last few weeks. I really wasn't a fan. I'm still not I wouldn't say a fan. I hope we don't draft him. I pray we don't draft him. We
That man
need
not even a first round talent, man.
I don't think so either. At the college level, he does play and produce. I'll say that. At this level, he can play his game with the talent that he has around him. I mean, his defense is A1 from day one. I mean, you got more coming off the edge. You got all these explosive talents off the back end, speed, all speed. I don't think like Roger said, we need a lot of games to battle ourselves, test ourselves, to see who's the real competition and who's not. And like I said, this is Texas. I feel like they're one of those teams overall stacked together, right coaching, and they peaked at the right time of getting a string of wins together in that streak. And I feel like Ewers, if he plays to his capabilities at his level with the talent that he has around him and not fuck up the game, they can definitely win a national championship and definitely beat this team as well.
I'll go second real quick. I think you got Texas at Clemson, gonna be a physical game. Of course, Phil motherfucker gonna get that rock. I think you'll have some success in this game. I love this matchup. It's probably the most talent-filled matchup of the first round. And honestly, I was going with Texas before, but I'm simmering on it. And man, I'm simmering on it. I'm simmering on it. I don't like seeing Clemson get ran down like that by SMU. It kind of seemed like SMU kind of beat themselves, in all honesty. In that game, you watching it for the full game, and they had a chance to come back before they allowed that huge kick return, the second to last play of the game, or the third to last play of the game. Texas has actually, to me, looked pretty shaky these last couple weeks, including the last game they played. They lost to Georgia, as I predicted.
It's Georgia. Tough.
Yeah, hey, I'm going to pick Clemson to win this game. I think they match up well, but I'm thinking about the experience that Coach Sweeney has in this game over Coach Sark. Of course, Coach Sark is awesome as well, but I'm gonna go with Coach Sweeney and them to pull out the game in a tough defensive battle on both sides. I think Clemson. I like I can't think of his quarterback's name off the top of my head right now.
Klubnik.
Klubnik. Yeah,
I was gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
You like Klubnik against Texas defense better than Ewers against Clemson's?
I don't think either of them are going to have massive success. I think both of them are going to play.
Oh, facts. It's going to be a game of who can create the less errors.
Yeah,
I don't think so. It's going to be a game of who scores in the red zone, and Texas hasn't been doing that lately. So,
whoever doesn't score is creating the error. So whoever can create the less errors, you got to score them touchdowns. If you don't get in the end zone, you're going to lose.
I just like Klubnik's legs a little more. The fact that he's like more of a dual threat in this game, I think he's going to be able to get outside the pocket. I can honestly see it going either way. Just now,
get his ass. Hop.
Hey, it's going to be a tough game, but right now I'm gonna ride with Clemson in this game.
Nah, you're right. It's gonna definitely be a good game.
Yeah, I would. That's what I was thinking. I actually got Clemson on one of my tickets. to actually win. I expect it to be a good game. Not too high scoring, as like you guys said, two physical defenses. Especially and when they get in the red zone, it's tough to score on them. So like you said, I expect it to be whoever can score one or two touchdowns, a couple field goals to win this game. I do like Cade's playmaking ability, like you said, with being able to move around in the pocket and extend plays with his feet. I feel like that's going to be a big game changer for Clemson. But then again, it all depends on the D lines and O lines of both teams. I feel like.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. But I got a Clemson pulling it out in a close one. I will say, if SMU beats Penn State, I think I think whoever wins that game has the easiest route to the semifinals because I think they play Boise State. Whoever plays Boise State. And I just don't think Boise State has the physicality. I just don't think Boise State has the physicality to compete with either of those teams.
I will push back on that one a little bit. I think whoever wins this game, Clemson, Texas. Next, they'll play Arizona State. Arizona State's had a great season. I don't see them beat Texas or Clemson. And I actually can see Boise State beating SMU or Penn State. I think SMU is a bit underrated. It was a close game in the A8 or in the Mountain West Conference Championship game, but it was like we blowing y'all out. Y'all catch up a little bit. The game's never really in doubt type of game. And Ashton Genty, well, I think he's been the most valuable player for his team in college football this year. Don't know if he's going to win the top award for individual, but we'll have to see. But I think that other bracket a little bit more easy. I'd rather see Arizona State than Boise State, me personally.
I'm gonna let you know right now. In that Mountain West Championship, my parlay was in doubt because them niggas ain't cover the spread.
I feel you. Hey, but moving on from that one, let's talk about a little bit of trade chatter. Our last two topics: trade chatter, both involve the NBA. Trade chatter and the NBA. What's y'all thoughts on everything that's been going on? We'll start with you,
Khalil. Well, I think the biggest thing, or the biggest two things that I've seen circulating as of recently is LeBron James trade talk, which tends to happen a lot. I don't know if you guys seen, but they said he was like taking some time away from the Lakers.
Yeah, he didn't play.
Yeah, that boy getting old, bro. And I hate to say it, but it kind of starting to show with the fatigue and everything on the court. I feel like I don't even know regarding LeBron, but Jimmy Butler, I would like to see him in either a Suns or a Mavericks jersey. I feel like he could help bring a lot to the team, especially the Mavericks defensively. With them getting him, that'd give them a chance to have an even smaller lineup, kind of like the Warriors lineup back in the day when they had Draymond Green at center. I feel like PJ Washington could step in at center, and that just brings more physicality, more of that dog to a team that's already full of dogs. I don't know if you guys seen it either, but like he dyed his hair like every color of every team that's trying to trade for him or something like that.
That's crazy.
Since you mentioned Jimmy Butler, a team I would love to see him on is the Rockets.
Why though? I want to know, like,
why?
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. The Rockets. We're gonna talk about them in a little bit, being in the championship for the NBA, well, in the Western side for the NBA Cup coming up tomorrow. And I'm gonna try to get this out tomorrow. But I think Jimmy would be a solid addition to a team that's the number 2 seed, regardless of the cup. They're the number 2 seed in the West in the playoffs. They made a big leap last year. That was through veteran leadership of Van Fleet, the addition of Dylan Brooks, and a couple more veteran pieces they got coming off the bench there and contributing. I think Jimmy, he's back in his hometown or very near his hometown. He's super motivated. He's going to a team that's, if they're a number 2 seed, they got the talent, they're going to be in the mix to compete for a championship, in my opinion, with the addition of Jimmy Butler. They got Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun. I still think Sengun would be the best player on that team, followed by Jimmy, then Jalen, Fred VanVleet. They just have a nice mix of players, especially with on the wings having Dylan Brooks and Jimmy Butler defending on the wings. I think that's a good matchup against the Celtics, who I think are going to be in the Eastern Finals regardless of what anybody else does. I think they're going to represent the East, and I think they're a good matchup on Jaylen Brown and Tatum. I just think, on the Mavericks, that's too many people to try to figure out who's going to have the ball in crunch time. Plus, does that mean Clay's coming off the bench? Even though you have that small ball lineup, and I think the move will be decent. I think his best situation would be the Houston Rockets, in my opinion, for that one specifically.
Well, only pushback I got for that one is one, Jimmy's still under contract. So they're gonna have to give up some pieces. That's gonna mess up their young core, what they got going on right now, which is wonderful. They're taking their young talent with the wonderful coaching of Ndoku and actually winning these games now. Like the previous years before, they were in a lot of the games that they were in, but towards the end of the game, which that experience comes in, the coaching comes in, they never really had. I feel like, Jimmy could bring that push to them, but they're going to have to get rid of one Dylan Brooks. I think he has a lot of the money on his contract. So he's going to be in that trade to go to another team, losing some defensive prowess off the, you know what I'm saying? Because he's probably going to either slide to the bench. So a couple of their younger players are off their bench as well that have been doing great. And they're going to want something back in Miami Heat. They always do. Pat Riley going to be that always shiesty on those deals. He needs something on something on that back end for Jimmy. And he's already done with him because he already said he's not going to sign. He's not going to give him an extension. I feel like for Jimmy, maybe like a team like the Warriors, where they have some assets to already give. They already don't have no bench. So they can give up a couple assets, some picks, and, give Steph Curry and number 2 star that can actually push, get his own bucket, play defense, which they really rarely play anyway. That'll give him some kind of push. Andrew Wiggins hasn't been developing how they thought he would and push even higher after the championship. He's been very stagnant, actually kind of decreasing a little bit. In a bigger role, you would think, now that Clay's gone, but he hasn't been performing. Buddy Hield's been really stepping up and performing, really, really well for them. And I mean, you can kind of get rid of Andrew Wiggins now, put him in that deal. He's a wonderful talent still. Send him down to Miami and kind of get things going on with that, and with a couple more players.
Yeah, the thing is though is because he's not going to re-sign, they know they have to get rid of him. So it's like, if I know you have to get rid of a player, like, I'd be willing to give up one of those young pieces. Of course not Sengun, Whittemore, Jalen Green.
Yeah, I said Dylan. It's going to be Dylan, for sure.
Could be Dylan, or I would give up somebody like Rar Eason, I believe his name. I do believe they made him untouchable, so I'm not sure. When you have a player that caliber of Jimmy Butler, what happened?
Yeah, but with them aprons, the apron that they got now, that money got to match. That money going to have to match up to send back like that 40-something, 45 or 50-something million almost. Going to have to match up. And those players that, besides Dylan, I think Dylan Brooks is one of the closest ones at 34 million.
I give up Dylan Brooks for Jimmy Butler.
Oh, no, for sure. For sure. But you got to realize what Dylan has brought to that team to build the culture on everything that they have. They already got their own little culture already. Jimmy is an established superstar already. Yeah. He got his, Tobias Harris over me, like, busting all the Minnesota Timberwolves ass, and like, we got history of this. Yeah, with him and young talent. We don't need him messing up our young talent. We got history of this. He's a great player. and he can be great, but I don't think he has that push to make young talent better because he don't have patience.
I can see that. I feel you on that. I just think they still need a closer at the end of games, and he'll be
Oh,
able
for
to fill
sure.
in that role. But I get what you're saying as far as the culture, because
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I think Miami, he went there with the expectation of retiring, and the fact that it's
Mm-hmm.
not working out, and he's been to a bunch of places at this point, it never seems to work out. At a
With a
certain
lot of
point, you
young
got to
talent.
yeah, at a certain point, you got to look at yourself in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? It's not everybody else
Yeah.
that's the issue. So I could definitely understand from a cultural perspective if it doesn't work out. On the LeBron James thing, real quick,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I think LeBron is the greatest of all time. He's still my favorite player, but I think the age has actually been showing over the last 4 or 5 years. I've had the displeasure of watching a bunch of Lakers games. LeBron just doesn't have that gas tank. He's still performing at the level of the best of being the best player in the league, but his tank is much shorter, so he can't do it over a full entire game, especially in the fourth quarter. That's what we were hoping AD would become. And AD's been good this year, but AD's tank has been sapped a lot too by injuries. I will say, I think LeBron's going to come out of this doing either one or two things. And both of them are kind of scary for me as a LeBron fan. Either, since we're talking about trades, I think he can request a trade, go to the potentially the Warriors to play
Mm-hmm.
with Steph. I think that was huge. Them being over there at the summertime, I think that was big on their relationship. Any hard feelings that were there, I think they got smoothed over, and I think they would both like to play with each other ideally. Um, but also, and the more scary part for me, and unfortunate, but I understand it in a way. I can see LeBron coming out of this sabbatical saying, "This the farewell tour. Like I'm about to retire at the end of the season. I got my son in the league." Um, Bronny, shout out to Bronny, just had a great game in the D League yesterday, 30 points, career high. But I can see LeBron coming out of this saying, "This is my swan song. I'm gonna retire at the end of the season." And while he's still viewed at the top of his game, I don't think LeBron wants to go out being one of those guys that drops from the GOAT to averaging 16, 17 points a game. He's actually said it himself. So we'll see after he comes back. He didn't play tonight as of the 13th, I believe today is. Lakers lost, of course. So we'll see what comes of that. But hopefully not, though.
I don't even think I ever got to pick my pick. I think a good possible trade for this free agency would be probably, or not free agency, this trade cycle for players is BI, Brandon Ingram. If he can somehow end up in San Antonio with the pairing of Wemby, whew, oh man, they got young talent, obviously, and Vassell, an established old point guard, and CP3. Then you got the great young talent. I mean, the alien walking, trying to come down here and hoop with us real quick. He saw a tape of, what I'm saying, MJ, and was like, all right, I'm going down there and play with y'all boys real quick. And named him Wemby and Wembenyama. And if you can put that nice, I think he's still a wonderful 27 to 25 point player a game, easy. And you get him in that wonderful talent and that wonderful coaching staff of Pop, I think they can push up and definitely push to a championship, and that can push them over the hump for sure.
Over the hump, you said a championship.
Yeah, I mean, with Wemby playing the way he played,
I don't know about this year, my boy. But I feel you. I respect you. I don't know about this year, though.
it
I
don't got to
feel
be this year, but
you.
it can be very, 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 very soon with that kind of acquisition to the team and with the talent that Bi is. If he's when healthy, because he's another one of those players that you now got to put that quotation around when healthy. When healthy, Bi is definitely a 27 to 25 point player, and he's gonna get you those boards. His playmaking game has elevated since those younger days, and I mean, like I said, he don't gotta be number one. Obviously, you still got Wemby. Wemby gonna be number one. Everything go through Wemby.
For sure.
This shot, that boy B.I. still got the scrap. He was the quote unquote prototype KD before all these other quote unquote prototype KDs came out. You know what I'm saying? We're a lot older, so we've been watching these players come in. And I definitely remember when B.I. came in, 2014, 2013, something like that. Like literally, it was insane.
Yeah,
Huh?
around there. No, I'm saying around there.
Yeah. Now he's been in the league now
2018.
for a little while.
2016, I think. Either way,
Yeah, that boy been in the league a little while. So he a vet in the game. And, you know what I'm saying? He knows his way around to getting the bucket and putting them in that kind of environment of winning and trying to start winning culture in with the Spurs. I feel like they can definitely, get pushed over the hump and bring them boys back to prominence.
I feel it. I saw I'll make this quick. Cam Johnson is being shopped a little bit too by the Brooklyn Nets.
For anybody.
What happened?
That's a good pickup for anybody.
Yeah, I would like to see him on the team. I ain't really rooting for nobody. But I would like to. I think he'd be a good addition for the Milwaukee Bucks this year. I think he'd be a nice little piece. And you can keep Chris Middleton coming off the bench. I think Chris, unfortunately, injuries have taken a lot from him. He's not able to play as frequently as he would like, as the team would like. I think you slot him into that role, have Chris as the sixth man, because he's definitely improved his playmaking. Shout out Khalil for giving me the pick for his over on assist. At first I looked at it, I was like, Chris Middleton assist, but hey, this man is the reason that I asked him the bets and that y'all asked me about the bets, because this man, he got that shit when it comes to the bets. But Cam, I think he'd be great for the Milwaukee Bucks. Any other trades y'all want to discuss before we move on to our last topic, which is the NBA Cup?
No. Nothing big really came about yet, or no more rumors really came about.
Yeah. All right, for sure.
Those are the big guys.
For that, first game we'll discuss is Milwaukee versus Atlanta. Who y'all got in that game and why?
Oh my Jesus, bro. Hold on.
Me personally, I got the Giannis show, the Antetokounmpo show, and that boy Dame. I think they're gonna. What's up?
Said the
Thanasis. Why the fuck a tune That boy averaged 4 waters, 2 towels.
4 waters.
4 points. Get them out of there. I think Doc is really improving this team and showing that he can still coach. And I don't really think he ever lost it. I think he was just put in at a lot of unopportune times and a lot of the wrong times, given situations. But I think now he's actually, after having that off season with his team, actually implementing his guys in the way he wants things, how he wants to run things. It took those guys because, we had a lot of, I'm going to say we, I'm not a Bucks fan. They had a lot of injuries at the beginning of the season with Giannis, Dame still trying to figure themselves out on how they want to do their 1-2 punch. But now that they're back, he's healthy. They've been with a stretch of games, and now getting Chris Middleton back, like Brodrick was saying, like Khalil was saying, Chris Middleton, dishing dimes out, like, what I'm saying, he that dope man. He doing his thing, but coming back off his injury now, he can show and establish himself as that solid third role player. They can get back to championship contending, and I feel like they can really win this cup. I feel like they're going to win the cup, to be honest. Giannis said he got unfinished business.
Honestly, much as I want to pick the Bucks, because I feel like it's gonna happen. I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say the Hawks. They've been probably one of the best teams playing as of late. Seems like
7 of their last 8.
and they beat they beat the Celtics, they beat the Cavs, they beat the Knicks. So these aren't just like pushover games. These are
That boy
championship playoff
Johnson.
contending teams that they're beating. And I think it is more of them changing Trae Young's role a little bit, to where he's not the only one, holding the ball for most of the shot clock. And with that, we were able to see the emergence of Jalen Johnson. He proved that he is an elite wing in this league, if I'm being honest. There's nothing he can't do. When Trae Young has a bad game, you lean on Jalen Johnson to pick up his slack. Dyson Daniels is probably one of the best defenders in the league. Real scrappy. This is a real scrappy team. They have everything from the shooting to the playmaking to the Twin Towers getting rebounds, holding it down in the paint. And their play is very unselfish, which is something I haven't really seen from a Hawks team. And like I said, they're just gelling right now. Everything's working for them on all cylinders. I'm taking the Hawks.
That boy Daniil Hunter, a nice D and three.
Yeah, right off the bench. Yeah.
Yeah, I like him.
For all the same reasons, I'm gonna go with the Hawks as well. Obviously the Bucks got an overwhelming amount of talent, but I'm gonna go with the Hawks. I think they're more cohesive. I think both teams are playing great. I think the Hawks are just on a heater right now. I think they're playing really well, moving the ball. Everybody is sliding into their roles appropriately. A lot of what Chalil said, especially about Dyson Daniels, I think he's going to be a good matchup on Dame. Of course, there's no great matchup for the Greek Freak, but I think they're going to be able to at least, I don't know, be strong traffic cones in the paint with some of their veteran centers they got there. But I think Giannis is going to have a huge game, but I think the Hawks, with their collective, is going to be able to overcome it with Trae Young and guys bringing it home. The next game would be the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Houston Rockets. Who y'all got in that game? We'll start off with you, Byron.
Oklahoma City Thunder versus Houston Rockets. Both young talents. I love both ends. I mean, Shea with the herky jerky play. I mean, this man is MVP caliber type player this year. And even last year, he's been showing it that he's stepping up and emerging as a star in this league. The Rockets, like these boys have been mentioning, have been on a heater like these other teams. Been racking up wins with the young play of Jalen Green, the veteran sap of Van Fleet. Shangoon is emerging as a star for real in this league and being dominant. I think
It should be noted that
OKC.
Chet isn't playing. It should be noted that Chet isn't playing. So
Chet not playing.
Good plan, Beto.
That's what I was going to say. They've definitely been stepping up without Chet not being in the lineup. That acquiring Hartenstein, like Khalil said, been dominant on defense, and they've been playing their game still. Nothing's really been changing, and like playing through Shea and that boy Williams, they're dogs. Dot, playing that. I'll say DPOY type defense on that boy Kyrie a couple days ago and on Luka a couple days ago, really establishing themselves as they got to go through them this year type. They sent that kind of message to those boys this year. Obviously, they were in a chip last year, but OKC was that team, and they're going to be that team to fight. I think they're going to come out and beat the Rockets.
I'll make my prediction real quick. I'll go with I think only because Chet isn't out not playing this game. I think the Rockets are going to pull out the dub this game right here. I think these are both excellent defensive teams. Rockets have a not great offense, but I think they're going to score just enough. I do believe the Rockets won the last meeting of these two teams. It's 1-1 on the season. Right now, I would have to go with the Rockets to pull out the dub, even though it's in OKC. I expect Sengun to have a good game. I know Hardenstein is a good defender, but I know Hartenstein is a good defender, but I expect Sengun. He's been on the tear. I think he's going to be a dominant force in this game, especially without the help defense being provided by Chet coming off the weak side. And I think the Rockets, they're going to do pretty good on the boards in this game. So give me the Rockets in this game. I think Fred VanVleet is going to have a decent game too. I'm going to take the Rockets.
I'm gonna take the Thunder with this one. Shea's been on a heater. He's playing some of the best basketball he's been playing all year. And just with the guard play, I feel like the Rockets guards are at a little bit of a height disadvantage. So I definitely see Jalen Williams and Shea taking advantage of that and having great games. Hartenstein is a beast on the boards. Not only is he a beast on the boards, but he, he's a good playmaker. Most of those offensive rebounds turns into assists for him. And then their bench, I like their bench a little bit more. I think OKC is the more physical team. I think they're the more complete team. I think they're the more established team, which I feel like is going to help them get the victory.
You call that boy a beast, my boy?
Oh, what?
You throwing around the word beast a little bit too freely now. We used to call
that's an ex-Nick though. You gotta look at that. That's an ex-Nick.
I said he's a beast on the boards. I didn't say he's a beast.
No, I'm saying I'm talking about on the board. Is what I feel. For sure.
That's an ex-Nick though. You know,
I feel you.
Show some love.
And 4 points. But yeah, for sure.
Hey, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about rebounds.
I feel you. I'm just clowning around. I feel like the word beast used to get thrown around for like Ben Wallace, like on the boards.
I don't know. What's Hartenstein's stats?
You would know better than me. I say a beast. If you're a beast on the boards, you got to at least average 11. I'm not sure if he's. I'm gonna look it up right now.
He's averaging
like 12, 13.
He's averaging 11 or 12 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists.
There you go.
That was a beast.
Yeah,
he'll be a beast.
double, going crazy.
Yeah, he'll be for real.
That boy said, "Excuse me, excuse me, sir. I am."
But yeah, pretty good show. Like I said, load the topics tonight. Thank y'all guys for pulling up. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Go watch our other videos. Get y'all predictions in. Tell us how y'all felt about, everything that we discussed tonight. If y'all thought I was foolish for Bill Belechik, how y'all feel about these NBA Cup games, in the college football playoff bracketology, who do y'all got winning these first games? Do y'all feel like, Texas going to get the dub? Ohio State, are they going to choke against Tennessee? We'll see. But it's been a good show. Appreciate y'all pulling up.